I'm Patrick Watson, I'm an astrologer, and you're watching my tutorial on how to use my Hellenistic Planetary Divisions spreadsheet calculator. Now, you are watching this video likely because you have seen my free webinar with Capital College on the activations of planets by timing out their minor periods and ascensional times, or you've actually bought the calculator and are wanting to know how it works because you're wondering what the actual hell is going on with it. So I want to show you how to use it very simply. So first we're going to start off by putting in your birth date. So make sure to follow the date conventions on that. And you're going to want to put in your birth time as well. It doesn't have to be in 24-hour format, I found out. So once you put in your birth date there where it indicates and your birth time in these red boxes, then we need to fill out the ascensional times of the signs for your birthplace. This is dependent on your latitude. So the way we're going to do that is we're going to click here, and we're going to click that link, and it's going to take us to this page on astroseek.com. Astro-seek, not astroseek, because if you do astroseek, it's going to take you to some strange website. So this is astro-seek.com. And so you have to go to the traditional astrology page. If for whatever reason you can't find it again, just go to the home page, go to free horoscopes, charts, calculations at the top left, scroll down to traditional astrology chart calculator, and it will take you to this page. So all you need to do is put in your birth data again, October 23rd, 1987 in my case. Where is that? Okay. And the time, 1:06 a.m. I'm going to put in your birthplace. For me, that's High Wycombe, United Kingdom. Oh, there we go. Okay, so I just want to make sure the chart is correct. There are occasionally issues with time zones on astroseek.com. Not egregiously so, but there are occasionally some errors. So just make sure it's right by doing it. Double check your work on astro.com or Solarfire. So you want to scroll down past the chart, and you're going to want to get to this box here. It says rising or ascensional times. So we're going to be copying these values from this middle column here, and we're going to be putting them into these boxes underneath each sign. So Aries is 13.06. Taurus is 17.15. Gemini is 26.59. Cancer is 37.77. Leo is 42.67. And Virgo is 42.77. Now, I took the liberty of having these mirror because they have the same ascensional times. I had them automatically fill out its corresponding signs. So if you fill out Aries, it's automatically going to fill out Pisces. If you fill out Taurus, it's automatically going to fill out Aquarius because they have the same ascensional times. Just as a little time-saving thing. Next, we need to enter the sign that each planet is in at the time of one's birth. So you can usually tell just from the chart itself. Sometimes it was close to sign boundaries. It was nice to be able to see exactly what sign it's in. So here we can see the sun is in Libra and the moon is in Scorpio. So you just use the drop down to select the sign. Mercury is in Scorpio. Venus is in Scorpio. Mars is in Libra. Jupiter is in Aries. And Saturn is in Sagittarius. So at this time, after filling out your birth date, birth time, the essential times of the signs, and the sign of each planet in the chart, we now have a matrix of all of the different activation points for these planets. Now, I must note that the times represented here are the beginnings of each activation. So, for example, the sun has a minor period of 19 years, but that corresponds with the 19th year, which is when you are age 18. So the date here is for when the activation begins, which is on the day that I turned 18, but it will complete 1 year later on October 22nd, 2006. So every date that you see, you just have to be aware that it ends 1 calendar year after that date. So What I've also added to this calculator is the ability to time out the activations of aspects. So this is very simple. All you do is select the planet that you wish to uh, investigate, and the planets in aspect with, as well as the aspect. So I know, for example, that I have Sun opposite Jupiter. So I'm going to look at the times that that aspect activates. I also have Moon conjunct Mercury. Now, you don't have to fill these out all the time, or rather, you don't have to fill out every one. You can leave some of them blank if you want. It's just to give you options for aspects you can investigate with this method. Now, I also included 3 planet aspects. So if I wanted to look at, I have the Moon, Mercury, and Venus all in the same sign. So if I wanted to look at the activation of that co-presence, then I just put all 3 planets in this under this 3 planet aspect, and it gives me all of the different times that co-presence of those 3 planets in the same sign all come to kind of fruition. And then I also allowed you to be able to look at 4 planet configurations. It gets a little unwieldy because, as you can see, there are a ton of different activation points. But in any case, once you have filled out all of this information and as many aspects as you want, you're going to go to the chronology tab, which is at the bottom. So you just got to scroll down to the bottom and hit chronology. Now, what you're going to do is this list needs to be refreshed each time you change anything on the other tab. So what you're going to do is you're going to click on A, hold it down, and drag it over to B, so that you have both columns highlighted. So I currently have the A column highlighted and the B column highlighted. Once they're highlighted, go to Data, and then click Sort Range by column A to Z. Okay, so once you click that, it has now rearranged all of the information on the previous page into chronological order. So I can now see all of the information in chronological order. So I could scroll to now. Today is August 4th, 2019, which means that any activation which happened after August 4th, 2018 is currently active for me. So these are my current active activations. And you can use this to then interpret what planets are active in this time and pay attention to transits happening with those planets or to those planets, etc. So we know this is a very Moon, Mercury, Venus time for me, as well as a Sun opposite Jupiter. In fact, the Sun opposite Jupiter activation is a whole activation, so that's a much more complete activation of that aspect. So it should, in theory, be more true for me, and I suppose it is, with how much I've been overexerting myself in extending myself into researching all these different astrological issues and making these giant spreadsheets. And my Jupiter is in the 9th house, so I guess I do tend to go a bit overboard with my astrological inquiry and research, etc. So I would say that this makes some amount of sense. So for example, this activation began on November 13th, 2018, and it will end on November 13th, 2019. That's when it completes or reaches completion. So I still have a ways to go before this Sun-Jupiter opposition is actually done with. So you can look at all of the different times that each year, all of these different activations were happening, and you can use the rules set out in Vedic Valens to interpret that. So this video isn't necessarily about interpreting what we're seeing, because that was all kind of revealed in the webinar, but this should give you an idea of how to use it. I also included a quick reference tab, and this isn't anything you have to put anything into. It's just, all it does is it gives you the ages at which the minor periods and minor period combinations come to fruition. So, for example, if someone is age 43, then you know that is a year where whatever aspect they have between their sun and moon will be active, because the combination of their minor periods, of the sun's 19-year minor period with the moon's 25-year minor period. So that goes all the way up to 129, the 129th year. Not every age has one, but there were enough of them that I thought it would just be nice to have a guide there. So, once you've done this, you probably don't want to have to delete everything you've already put in if you ever wanted to look at another chart. So one way you can have multiple calculators for different people so that you don't have to re-put in the information every time is just go to File, make a copy, and then you can call it whatever you like. So if I was looking at like a celebrities activations, I could type in the name of that celebrity. Let's just use, I don't know, Angelina Jolie. If I was looking at Angelina Jolie's activations and I didn't want to have to put in all the information again and someone wanted to look at a different chart, I could just copy this document with a new name, and then that doesn't do anything to the present document. That just gives you another copy of the calculator, and so you could look through Google Drive to find the particular one that you have saved for a particular person, just so that you don't have to keep putting in this information over and over again. So that's the best solution I have to that for right now. I'm not actually going to save one. I'm just showing you how you would do it. So I hope this has given you an idea of how to use this calculator. Basically, you're just putting in your birth date here in these red boxes and your birth time there, and then you're using astroseek.com to get your essential times in these signs. You use the drop down to choose the sign that each planet is in. You choose some aspects if you want to, and once you're done on this page, go to chronology, highlight both of the columns, data, sort range, take a look at the year that you are investigating. So that's pretty much it. Let me know if you have any questions, and you can buy this copy of my calculator from my website, www.patrickwatsonAstrology.com. You can find it in the store. If you go to Kepler College, if you go to Kepler College's website, I'll try to get a link up here as well. There should be a way for you to access the recording of the webinar, which I did, where I talked about how to actually use this technique in practice and interpretation. So thank you very much for watching. Have a great day.